Okay, Madhya. You can start with the prayers, Madhya.
Okay, so is it recording? Do I have to record? Where did
Yeah,
you record?
yeah, it's streaming on the live stream, so you can start, Madhya. Yeah.
Oh. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All those to Shri Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Paraya Krishna Vishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nami. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachadini Nirvishesha Shanyavani Paschatyanishatadini. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhaktavinda Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhaktavinda Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhaktavinda. So today we're continuing Madhya Lila, chapter 8, text 109. Although Krishna was in the midst of hundreds of thousands of gopis during the rasa dance, he still kept himself in one of his transcendental forms by the side of Srimati Radharani. 110. Lord Krishna is equal to everyone in his general dealings, but due to the conflicting ecstatic love of Srimati Radharani, there were opposing elements. 111. The progress of loving affairs between a young boy and a young girl is like the movement of a snake. On account of this, two types of anger arise between a young boy and a girl. Anger with cause and anger without cause. 112. When Radharani left the rasa dance out of anger and resentment, Lord Sri Krishna became very anxious because he could not see her. 113. Lord Krishna's desire in the Rasa Lila circle is perfectly complete, but Srimati Radharani is the blinking link in that desire. 114. The Rasa dance did not shine in the heart of Krishna without Srimati Radharani. Therefore, he also gave up the circle of the Rasa dance and went out to search for her. 115. When Krishna went out to search for Srimati Radharani, he wandered here and there. Not finding her, he became afflicted by the arrow of Cupid and began to lament. 160. Since Krishna's lusty desires were not satisfied, even in the midst of hundreds of thousands of gopis, and he was thus searching after Srimati Radharani, we can easily imagine how transcendentally qualified she is. 117. After hearing this, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to Ramana Raya, that for which I have come to your residence has now become an object of truth in my knowledge. 118. Now I have come to understand the sublime goal of life and the process of achieving it. Nevertheless, I think that there is something more ahead, and my mind is deserving to have it. 119. Kindly explain the transcendental features of Krishna and Srimati Radharani, and also explain the truth of transcendental mellows and the transcendental form of Godhead. 120. Kindly explain all these truths to me, but for yourself, no one can ascertain them. 121. Sri Ramananda Roy replied, I do not know anything about this. I simply vibrate the sound you make me speak. 122. I simply repeat like a parrot whatever instructions you have given me. You are the Supreme Personality of God and Himself. You can understand your dramatic performances. 123. You inspire me within the heart and make me speak with the tongue. I do not know whether I'm speaking well or badly. 124. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I am a Mayavadi in the renounced order of life, and I do not even know what transcendental loving service to the Lord is. I simply float in the ocean of Mayavadi philosophy. 125. Due to the association of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, my mind became enlightened. Therefore, I ask him about the truths of the transcendental loving service to Krishna. 126. Sarvabhuma Bhattacharya told me, I do not actually know about the topics of Lord Krishna. They're all known only to Ramana Roy, but he is not present here. 127. Lord Shri Krishna, Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued. After hearing about your glories, I have come to your place, but you are offering me words of praise out of respect for a sannyasi, one in the renounced order of life. 128. Whether one is a brahmana, a sannyasi, or a sudra, regardless of what he is, he can become a spiritual master if he knows the science of Krishna. 129. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, please do not try to cheat me, thinking of me as a learned sannyasi. Please satisfy my mind by just describing the truth of Radha and Krishna. 130 and 31. Sri Ramana Rai was a great devotee of the Lord and a lover of God. And although his mind could not be covered by Krishna's illusionary energy, and although he could understand the mind of the Lord, which was very strong and intense, Ramana's mind became a little agitated. 132. Sri Ramana Rai said, I am just a dancing puppet, and you pull the strings. Whichever way you make me dance, I will dance. 133. My dear Lord, my tongue is just like a stringed instrument, and you are its player. Therefore, I simply vibrate whatever arises in your mind. 134. Ramana Rai then began to speak on Krishna Tattva. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He said, he is personally the original Godhead, the source of all incarnations, and the cause of all causes. 135. There are innumerable Vaikuntha planets, as well as innumerable incarnations. In the material world also, there are innumerable universes, and Krishna is the supreme resting place for all of them. I'll stop here, Prabhu.
Yes, Madhya. Thank you so much. So, yeah, I can stop sharing also, Madhya, screen. Yes. Okay. Then, so with the context here, where we are in today, is that we're hearing the conversation between Sri Ramananda Rai and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So if you remember a few sessions ago, it's a big chapter and a very important conversation of whole Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So their conversation started right at the first question Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him is, please describe the ultimate goal of life like that. And Ramananda Rai, we know, gave different answers. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, asked him to describe more like that, go higher like that. So he described different levels. We discussed how he talks about doing prescribed duties in Varnashma, and then he goes to sorry, suddenly it I don't know why Zoom restarted. I don't know. You can still hear me, okay?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu, we can hear you now, but it
Oh,
stopped for a second.
okay, perfect. Okay, sure. Yeah. So basically, he was describing different levels of bhakti, and starting with even actually Varnashram Dharma like that. And then after he describes the bhakti, he went all the way till Kanta Prema is described. Basically, he described Gnana Mishra Bhakti first. That means bhakti mixed with some gnana, and then Gnana Sunya Bhakti. That means bhakti without any gnana. Gnana means impersonal speculation like that. And then he went to the highest form of bhakti with Vadi Sadhana Bhakti Prema, and then Raga Bhakti Prema, and then he described next Sakya Dasya Prema, Sakya Prema, Vasalya Prema, and then Madhurya Rasa finally, Kanta Prema. He discussed. And then within that, he glorified the gopis of Vrindavan as topmost. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to hear more. Then he started to describe Radha and his glories. That is the section we are in. So this is all part of the first question he asked, what is the ultimate goal of life like that? Which is, in essence, is Krishna Prema. Prema as exhibited by gopis of Vrindavan, Braja Prema like that. That is the essence of the whole section. We'll go into the next verses, 109, right? Let's see. Yeah. So 109, this is talking about, yeah, the situation was about, let me share my screen also. Yeah, this portion, this is last few verses are in the middle of how Ramananda Rai glorified Srimati Radharani. How during the rasa dance to be with Radharani, Krishna, first when Krishna disappeared, and then Radharani also went with him like that. That is the context he is describing now. So now he says Krishna personally gave attention to Srimati Radharani. So the essence of this section, more than the details of the section, is that Radharani is the topmost. That is the essence of this section. So like that is describing how Krishna was there with each one of the pair of gopis in Rasa Leela, and also personally with Srimati Radharani. That's the point this is coming across. Now he says how Krishna is equal to everyone in his general dealings, but due to conflicting ecstatic love of Srimati Radharani, there were opposing elements. So Sadharana Prema and Kutila Prema are the words used. There's no purport for this verse, so we can only understand a little bit. Radharani's Prema is different and special like that. That much only we can understand. And then he says the progress of loving affairs between young boy and girl is like the movement of snake. Why? Snake goes here and there like this, right? It doesn't go straight line like that. So there are two types of anger that comes between them. Anger with some cause, that means with some reason. Anger without cause. Why? Is describing next statement. When Radharani left the Radha dance out of anger and resentment, Lord Shri Krishna became very anxious because he could not see her. So I think there's a purport in one line verse. Yeah, there's no apparent reason for the disagreement, but there is a disagreement between Radharani and Krishna. That's what Prabhupada writes in the purport. Referring to this verse is from Ujjwala Neelamani from Rupa Goswami, it seems. Then after the disagreement, when Radharani left out of anger and resentment, Lord Krishna became very anxious because he could not see her. Again, the point of the focus for these verses is to describe how Radharani is so great in relation to Krishna's affection for her, Krishna's love for her, like that. Now, Lord Krishna's desire is perfect, complete, but Srimati Radharani is the missing link for that desire of Krishna is saying. And then without Srimati Radharani, rather in one sense, even though it's one sense is complete Rasadance, but in a sense she is not feeling it complete like that. So he also left Rasadance to search for Radharani. So Radharani is so great like that. Now going to the next verse. Krishna went searching for her. He wandered here and there. And when Krishna did not find her, he became afflicted with by the arrow of Cupid and began to lament. Again, the focus is that Srimati Radharani is so important for Krishna like that. Then, since Krishna's lusty desires were not satisfied, even in midst of hundreds of thousands of gopis, and he was thus searching after Srimati Radharani, we can easily imagine how transcendently qualified Srimati Radharani is. This is the essence of the whole section, basically. That Srimati Radharani is transcendently qualified and is topmost of the gopis who are exhibiting the Kanta Prema, which is the highest of the goal, highest sadhya for us, like that. So that is how he is describing the glories of Srimati Radharani. Now, the topic shifts to next topic. Remember, I mentioned the whole conversation started with one question. What is your ultimate goal, or ultimate sadhya, or ultimate perfection of life, like that? So this whole thing is described for that context. First question. Now, second question starts from in the conversation between Ramananda Rai and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu now. What is the second question? We'll see now. So he says, 117. After hearing this, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to Ramananda Rai, what did he say? That for which I have come to your residence and has now become object of my knowledge. So whatever I came to you, I got it. What is that? Is elaborating in the next verses. He says, okay, let me see. Okay, there's no purports. He says, now I come to understand the sublime goal of life. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, I understood the goal of life now, with sadhya, which is Kanta Prema, like that. And the process of achieving it also. Nevertheless, there is something more ahead, and my mind is desiring to have it. He wants to ask more. What is that he's asking? Kindly explain the transcendental features of Krishna. Let me go to that page. Yeah, the term used is Krishnera Swarupa, transcendental features of Krishna, and then transcendental features of Srimati Radharani, that is Radhara Swarupa. And then explain the truth of transcendental mellows, that is Rasa, Rasa Tattva. Tattva means truth, Rasa means transcendental mellows, we know. So Rasa Tattva, truth of transcendental mellows. And also transcendental form of love of Godhead. That is given as Prema Tattva Rupa. Form means Rupa, Prema love of Godhead, and transcendental Prema Tattva Rupa. So basically, this is the truth of the transcendental form of the love of Godhead. That's why his truth is Tattva. So basically, in essence, he's asking him to explain Krishna's transcendental features, Radharani's transcendental features, and the past tense between Radharani and Krishna, because that's what rasa means, right? That's what he's asking. Who is asking? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking Ramananda Rai. And he says, kindly explain all these truths to me. But for yourself, no one can ascertain them. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is certifying that he is the best person to tell these things like that. Only he knows. And then observe Ramananda Rai, great Vaishnava response. So this is how we can learn great qualities like humility from Vaishnavas. He's responding, I do not know anything about this. I simply vibrate the sound, you make me speak. That means he's considering himself as an instrument in Lord Chaitanya's hands, that he is giving the power to speak for him, which is true. Krishna only gives the power for us to do anything, whether speaking or doing something or thinking about some great idea, anything. Krishna is only giving the power for us. Only Vaishnavas can recognize that. We as practicing devotees, we need to practice recognizing that. Yeah. But for them, it's natural. And he's saying, I simply repeat like a parrot whatever instructions you have given me. So he's recognizing that he is the source. And he's saying, you the Supreme Person of Godhead himself, who can understand your dramatic performances. He knows the position clearly. Just because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking him, he's not thinking, see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is subordinate to me. I am greater. He's not thinking like that. He is clear. My position is subordinate. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Supreme Lord, and he's empowering me. He's giving me the power to speak like that. That is where that's also we need to be. Even if our Guru asks some question, we should be careful to not come to conclusion that, oh, see, now in this matter I'm great. We should not come to that conclusion like that. Now, he's saying, you inspire me within the heart and make me speak with the tongue. I do not know whether I'm speaking well or badly. It's also very important. Actually, many of us, many devotees who are preaching, even simple thing like when they're doing book distribution, when they're speaking to somebody, or when they're giving class, anytime they have this experience that the inspiration is given by Krishna and Guru. The right words will come at the right time like that. If that is inspiration, blessing is not there, we cannot get the right words. We'll tell the wrong things that will only help them to go away from us like that. So that's the inspiration. Is recognizing that Krishna is giving the inspiration. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving the inspiration to him so that he can speak the right words like that. That's an important mood we should be in also. Then we'll never become proud. We understand that because of Krishna's mercy, Guru's mercy, we are able to speak something. Now, 124th verse. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, now see, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is taking his humble position here again. That's another thing we can learn. He's saying, I am Mayavadi in the renounced order of life. I am Mayavadi in the renounced order of life. And I do not even know what transcendental loving service to the Lord is. I simply float in the ocean of Mayavada philosophy. Basically, he's saying the word is used Bhakti Tattva. I don't know Bhakti Tattva because I'm taken sannyasa order in Mayavadi philosophy, Mayavadi line like that. So now he says, due to the association of, now he's telling why he came to Ramananda Rai and why he's asking Ramananda Rai, he's simply explaining. He's saying, due to the association of Sarvam Bhattacharya, my mind became enlightened. Therefore, I asked him about Bhakti Tattva, truths of loving service to Krishna. But Saram Bhattacharya, what did he tell? He said, I don't know actually about these topics of Lord Krishna, but Ramananda Rai knows. But he's not present here. You go and ask him like that. Then go and meet him during the South India Yatra like that. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, after hearing about your glories, I have come to your place, but you're offering me words of praise out of respect for sannyasi. Basically, he's saying, just because I'm sannyasi, you're respecting me and offering me praise, saying that you're great like that. But I actually came to know from you, Rasa Tattva, Bhakti Tattva, like that he's saying. No, 128 verse. Let me see the purport. 128 verse as a purport. Here, Prabhupada is talking about how we should learn from this example of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What is that example of Lord Chaitanya Prabhu? He's being submissive and humble before a Vaishnava to learn from him transcendental knowledge. Like that, we also need to learn to be humble and submissive before a Vaishnava to learn from them. Like our Guru, when we go, when we hear from them, we should be submissive and humble before them like that. And then Vaishnava devotee may offer formal respects to, let us say, we go with some material pride. Look, I have such a big job, or what are some material, I have so much money like that. We go with that pride before a great sannyasi or Vaishnava, then they'll detect it. They'll say, wow, you're such a great devotee. You're engaging your wealth in Krishna service. Like that, they'll appreciate for us. But they'll not give transcendental knowledge, Prabhupada is saying. Because we don't have the right mood to receive transcendental knowledge. So they'll not give us. So we should be careful. That's what Prabhupada is saying in the purport here. So now, 120th verse, he's saying whether one is a Brahmana. Oh, this is a very famous verse. Kiba Vipra Kibanyasis Sudra Kenanaya E Krishna Tattvaveta Se Guru Haya. So this is often quoted verse. Basically, doesn't matter what varna, what ashram somebody is there. Whether it's a Brahmana, Sannyasi, Shudra, doesn't matter varnashram position. He can become a guru, spiritual master, if he knows the science of Krishna. The condition is you should know Krishna consciousness well. That is the condition. Not that he's born in a Brahmana family, Vaishya family, Sudra family, he's a Grihastha, he's a sannyasi. Not that. He should know the Krishna Tattva properly, Krishna's consciousness properly. That's the only qualification to become a guru. That is a simple explanation of this verse. Now, Prabhupada writes a 3-page purport for this. So, some beautiful points in the purport we'll discuss. First point is making is that everyone is capable of becoming a spiritual master because Krishna conscious knowledge is on the platform of the soul. That's why wherever I'm born, whether Brahmana family, Kshatriya family, Sudra family, doesn't matter. I can learn Krishna consciousness and I can become a guru like that Prabhupada is talking about. And in this purport, Prabhupada makes some comments other people make and defeats them. So sometimes it is important to know what other bad comments others are making and what is the right way to understand it from Prabhupada and devotees so that we can be situated in proper knowledge. So when somebody makes that comment, we are very clear. That is how these purports are beneficial for us. Prabhupada is training us. So he's saying, again from scripture, Hari Bhakti Vilas, what does it say? It says, if a Brahmana Guru is there, I should accept initiation from Brahmana Guru instead of accepting from initiation from another Guru who is not a Brahmana, like Brahmana caste like that. What scripture is telling, Hari Bhakti Vilas, which is written by, compiled by Srila Sanatana Goswami. So, but still, that's why Guru Sadhu are important to understand scriptures. He's saying, Prabhupada is saying, this instruction is meant for those who are overly dependent on mundane social order and suitable for those who want to remain in mundane life. But if you want to go to spiritual life, if you want to transcend the modes, then that instruction is not for us. Like that, Prabhupada is clarifying for us, for our benefit. Then, Prabhupada clarifies 3 terms in the verse, purport. Basically, Vartama Pradarshaka Guru, Diksha Guru, and Shiksha Guru. Most of us might have heard the word Diksha Guru, Shiksha Guru. Diksha Guru means one who gives the initiation for us. Shiksha Guru means one who is giving instructions for us. Of course, Shiksha Guru is very high position. Shiksha Guru means one who is liberated platform. He is also a pure devotee. That's why Diksha Guru, Siksha Guru, there's no difference is described. And that's the two terms we know. Vartama Pradasha Guru, also many of you might know, somebody who gives first information about spiritual life for us. That means who first tells us, oh, go to this place, and they're teaching about Krishna consciousness, go here, like that. First person who's guiding us in Krishna consciousness, like that. First person who's directing us to Krishna consciousness, like that. It doesn't need to give any instructions also. He just points us to the way, like that. See, that way you go, like that. That's called Vartama Pradasha Guru. In fact, we should be grateful for all these persons in our life all the time. And then, yeah, and then Prabhupada makes a comment that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not just making up things. Is what are he saying is in line with the Shastra. Prabhupada is telling. He's quoting Padma Purana verse that supports what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying. He's saying one who is actually advanced in Krishna consciousness, spiritual knowledge of Krishna, is never a Sudra, even though he may be born in a Sudra family. That means just when somebody is Krishna conscious already, then they're not Sudra anymore. They can be Brahmana and above that Vaishnava, like that. And then he gives giving example how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself was a Grihastha. He took a initiation from a sannyasa guru. Nityananda Prabhu was a Grihastha when he took sannyas, when he took initiation from Madhya Puri, who is a sannyasi. Rasikananda, and Rasikananda is also born in a Brahmana family, but he was initiated from Shamananda Prabhu, who was not born in Brahmana family. Like that, is giving examples of great acharyas, including the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to take away some misconceptions that you might have. Oh, I'm born in Brahmana family, I should take initiation from somebody in Brahmana family only. Not like that. Somebody is a guru, is already beyond that Varnashma. Like that. And then other point Prabhupada is making is, even if somebody is born in a Sudra family, if he's developed the qualities of Brahmana, he can be accepted as Brahmana. And he says, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur started this sacred third ceremony for the Vaishnava Satsams who got the qualities of Brahmana. That's what Prabhupada writing in purport. And then Prabhupada introduces two terms, Bhajananandi and Goshtanandi. This also is important to hear because devotees commonly make the comments with these words. Bhajananandi means somebody who's interested in doing sadhana in isolation. I don't want to deal with anybody. I don't care about ISKCON. I don't care about preaching, like that. Bhajananandi. That is the general mood of Vaishnava. It's not that mood is bad, but that is that's a mood for a generally great Vaishnava who is in the highest platform usually. Bhajananandi. And Goshtanandi means they want to preach Krishna consciousness. They want to share with others, like that. So that doesn't mean that people who are sharing doesn't do sadhana properly. Not like that. That means they're not in isolation. They're coming in people and then sharing the knowledge, like that. So Prabhupada's common mood was Goshtanandi, Bhajananandi. Sorry, not Bhajananandi. Uh, Bhajananandi is the one who is preaching work. Goshtanandi is the one who is spreading Krishna consciousness, it seems. Sorry if I change the terms incorrectly. Okay. So that means Prabhupada's mood is to preach. Whatever we learned something little bit, we share with others, like that. That is the Prabhupada mode for us. Then, yeah, Prabhupada is confirming again, if one becomes a guru, he's automatically a Brahmana, like that. Prabhupada is telling that. And then, yeah, this Vartama Pradakshina Guru, Siksha Guru, Diksha Guru, anybody can become. They don't need to become Brahmana, like that is telling. So that is the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's wonderful instruction. And this is how we can propagate Krishna consciousness also, Prabhupada is saying. And verse 129. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is requesting, please don't try to cheat me, thinking of me as a learned sannyasi. Please satisfy me mind by describing about Krishna Tattva and Radha Tattva, like that. And he is describing Ramananda Rai was a great devotee of the Lord and lover of God. And although his mind could not be covered by Krishna's Maya, he could understand the mind of the Lord. Ramananda's mind became a little agitated, is described like that. So the point here is, perfect devotee always tries to satisfy the devotees of Krishna. So here also, Ramananda Rai wanted to satisfy the desire of Krishna. That's why he wanted to speak further. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to listen from him, from his mouth, like that. Now 132. He says, I'm just a dancing puppet and you pull the strings. You, whichever way you make me dance, I will dance. See, this is a great Vaishnava quality, humility, and he understands that he's a just instrument. That is not great because he's able to share something. Is whatever is coming from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his guru is sharing like that. That's what he's saying, Ramananda Rai. Now, he says, my dear Lord, my tongue is just like a stringed instrument and you are its player. Therefore, I simply vibrate whatever it is in your mind. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is playing like a veena, for example, a stringed instrument, then the veena will make a sound. Similarly, his tongue is speaking like that is saying. Ramananda Rai then began to speak on Krishna Tattva. So these are where the glories of Krishna is started. Remember he asked about glories of Krishna, glories of Srimati Radharani or Radha Tattva, and then he asked about pastimes of Krishna and Radharani. So he's going to the first subtopic now. This goes several verses. We'll cover only two today. He says Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead first. And then he's personally the original Godhead. That means he's the source of all incarnations. And he's the cause of all causes. That everything is the ultimate source like that. Ultimate source and ultimate cause like that. There are no purports for these verses. And then he's saying Krishna is the resting place, supreme resting place of innumerable Vaikuntha planets, innumerable incarnations, lot of incarnations, and also innumerable universes within the material world, Brahmandas. He's the resting place for everything like that. Is glorifying. So that's the Krishna Tattva, basically. Okay, he's telling the truth about Krishna. So we'll pause here. We'll continue again in the next session. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Let's offer obeisance to all the devotees of the Lord. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kupasandubhyavacha paditanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Thank you so